Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into a classic story by Munshi Premchand, Adhikar-Chinta. It's an incredible tale about how the anxiety of holding on to power can be way more destructive than having no power at all. I mean, really think about that question. This story might seem like it's just about a dog, but trust me, it's a timeless lesson about power, leadership, and the seriously corrosive price of ambition. All right, let's jump in. So, our story kicks off with a real paradox. Our main character, a dog named Tommy. On the outside, he's huge, but on the inside, he's got the heart of a total coward. You have to understand, Tommy's life was just a constant, humiliating grind. I mean, he was big enough to be mistaken for a donkey, but he was terrified of a fight. He lived off whatever scraps he could find, always hungry, and always looking over his shoulder. So all this gnawing hunger and this constant fear, it all cooks up this powerful fantasy in his head. A dream of his own personal kingdom, a place where he would never, ever be weak or hungry again. And this, right here, brings us to the absolute core of the story, Adhikar-Chinta. It basically translates to the anxiety of power or the burden of authority. This one idea is the key that unlocks Tommy's entire journey, from a nobody scavenger to a totally tormented king. So one day, after getting chased by his rivals yet again, Tommy makes this desperate leap into a river to escape. And when he washes up on the other side, well, his life is about to change forever. He lands in this new place, this total paradise teeming with prey, and Tommy just transforms. The coward becomes a king. But here's the twist. It's not because he got brave. Oh no. It's because he got smart in a very, very dark way. See, Tommy knew he couldn't win a fair fight, so he just made sure no fights were ever fair. He was a master strategist. He'd watch others fight, swoop in to steal the prize from the loser, and even start rumors to turn everyone against each other. Classic divide and rule. And his final move, his masterstroke, it wasn't about force. It was about creating a story. He basically sold them this myth that he was chosen by God, that his rule was their destiny. And they bought it. That's how he sealed the deal. So he got everything he ever dreamed of. Happily ever after, right? Not even close. Achieving his dream didn't bring him peace. Instead, it brought a whole new, much uglier kind of torment.
His dream was real, but it turned into a nightmare almost instantly. The anxiety he used to have about having nothing was replaced by a much, much greater fear, the absolute terror of losing everything he just gained. This, folks, is Adhikar-Chinta in action.
His mind just became this constant storm of paranoia. He was haunted by the idea that someone, somewhere, was coming for his throne. Every shadow looked like a threat. He couldn't relax. He couldn't enjoy any of it. He was the king of this amazing land, but he spent all his time just relentlessly patrolling the riverbank, guarding his kingdom against invaders that were probably just in his head. Then one day, feeling a little nostalgic and maybe a little too arrogant, Tommy makes a really bad decision. He decides to go back to his old neighborhood, to show off a little. But here's the thing about power, it's often tied to a place. The second he set foot on his old turf, that king persona just vanished. Poof! The coward was back, and all those old fears came rushing in like a flood. His old rivals, they could smell the fear on him instantly, and they didn't hesitate. The fight was quick, it was brutal. And it didn't just physically defeat him, it psychologically shattered him. He managed to crawl his way back to his kingdom, but the damage was done. That humiliating beatdown completely broke his ego and just cranked his paranoia up to an unbearable, all-consuming level. So now, completely broken in spirit, Tommy begins his final downward spiral. This is where his paranoia builds to its tragic and, honestly, its inevitable conclusion. And look how quickly it happens. His last week is just this portrait of total decay. He's so obsessed with guarding his power that he stops eating, he stops sleeping, he just patrols and patrols until his body literally gives out. He is consumed by his own Adhikar-Chinta. So just think about that for a second. In the end, Tommy's greatest enemy was never another animal. It was the crushing psychological weight of his own authority. That burden of power was more lethal than any challenger could ever be. And what about the subjects he ruled over? Did they care? Not one bit. His reign was built on fear and manipulation, not loyalty. So when he died, his death went completely unnoticed. It was like he was never even there.
And this is the gut punch question the story leaves us with. He achieved his ultimate dream, right? He got the kingdom. But in his frantic, desperate effort to protect it, he lost any ability to actually enjoy it. It really makes you wonder, what's the point of gaining the whole world if you're too scared to live in it?
If you found this breakdown insightful, please do support the channel. It really helps us bring you more explainers on powerful stories just like this one. We've got more deep dives into incredible stories coming your way very soon. Thanks for watching.